Fong wasn't just a chef. He was a kitchen god. Give him a regular dish, he'd turn it into something Michelin star worthy, blindfolded. Even a plain old chicken? Chef Fong made it taste like it came straight from heaven, or at least the royal palace. Word spread like wildfire. Soon he owned 7 restaurants. Customers? They lined up like it was Black Friday, every single day. But then came one rich jerk, didn't want to wait in line. Fong laughed and kicked him out. Line up or leave, your money don't cook. The guy, furious, like those drivers screaming, "Do you know who my dad is?" He screamed, "I'll bring in the world's best chef to take you down." Little did he know, across the ocean in England, there was someone crazy enough to take that challenge. His name was On. Meanwhile, in rainy old England, there was another culinary beast. His name, On, his skills, unreal. Not only could he cook like a dream, he plated food like it was art for a royal museum. Even the Queen said, "Get this man in my palace, forever." But On had a secret mission. He was Chinese, and his dream, to return home and open the biggest restaurant empire in all of China. So, the moment he landed, he went straight to the seafood market, spotted a fat, fresh grouper. Perfect, except guess who wanted the same fish? Yep, Fong. The vendor sold it to Fong, said only he could unlock the fish's true flavor. On triggered. He snatched the fish back. "You call that cooking? Let's duel," he growled. And boom, the great grouper cook-off began. Fong went first. He sliced the juicy middle, poured on fermented tofu sauce, then rolled it with scallions like sushi and grilled it on blazing fire. Boom, crispy, juicy, fit for a king. But On, he smirked. Marinated the fish with secret spices, added blood orange, carrots, onions, a splash of wine for drama. Wrapped it all in white parchment, then baked it perfectly for 30 minutes. The fish smelled like gourmet heaven. The vendor panicked. These two madmen might burn down the whole market, so he sliced the grouper in half. You cook your side, he cooks his. Crisis averted, and thus their fishy feud ended in a draw. But On, still salty. He opened a luxury restaurant right across Fong's shop. White walls, fancy plates, and a grand opening. That sucked every customer away from Fong. Fong was stunned. His restaurant, empty. On's fancy spot, packed with Teslas and influencers. Even the chairman of China's Culinary Association came to eat. Then drama struck. Fong's girlfriend stormed into On's place, frying pan in hand, screaming like a boss fight. The manager came out, tensions boiled. Then Fong appeared. Time for a knife showdown. Right there, in the street, crowd gathered, phones out. On went first. With one divine slice, he split a salmon in 2, then lightly tapped the meat, and knew exactly where every bone was. Plucked them out, blindfolded. Crowd. Oh! Now Fong stepped up. His knife glided across the fish like a comet streaking through the sky. Each slice, exactly 1 millimeter thick. Perfection. Everyone gasped. Both men, absolute legends. The chairman grinned. This is war. You two will battle in the God of Cooking tournament. Next day, boom, On went viral. Why? A spicy interview. He called Chinese food boring. Said nothing's changed in 50 years. Mic drop. Fong's crew, triggered. Fong's specialty was traditional Chinese food. Business, tankin'. On's shop, double the price, triple the traffic. Fong looked outside, no parking left. All taken by On's rich fans. Even the grouper seller bailed. Sorry Fong, On paid double. Fong, boiling inside, his staff, frustrated. But Fong stayed calm, for now. That night, he and his girl snuck into On's place to taste the hype. First dish, sunny side eggs. Fong's girlfriend. What is this, a joke? She took a bite and froze, eyes widened. It wasn't eggs, it was mango with frozen yogurt. Fong, speechless. Next dish came, a potted plant, but wait. This one grew when they poured hot water. The plant grew, like, legit grew leaves. Fong stood up. Bro, I came to eat, not watch garden tricks. But On just smiled. Time for the main event. He whipped out a prime cut of beef. Know how to cook this? Fong raised an eyebrow. Challenge accepted. He diced scallions, sizzled them in hot oil, then prepped the beef. Quick slice, perfect timing. A dash of sesame oil, into the wok, searing heat. 30 seconds later. Boom! Fragrant, juicy, heavenly, but On? He pulled out a flamethrower. Seared the beef, cut 3 perfect chunks, laid them over greens, then sealed the plate. Final touch? He lit applewood dust, smoked the meat inside. Now the beef smelled like a forest picnic. On looked Fong dead in the eye. Traditional food? Outdated. This was war. Fong picked up his plate, took a bite. He froze, defeated, silently walked away. But On, he took a bite of Fong's beef, eyes wide, stunned. He'd never ever tasted anything like that. Meanwhile, Fong sat alone, staring into the night. Memories hit hard. As a kid, he chopped onions. His dad yelled, "You can't even slice an onion right. Get out." Dad left for work overseas, left Fong behind. Turns out his father was the undefeated god of food, 3-time world champ. A reporter once asked, "Is Fong your son?" His father just smirked. Never heard of him. Ouch. Right in the feels, Fong swore, one day, he'd beat his old man. But first, he'd have to defeat On. And that day was coming fast. The national cooking finals. No turning back. Fong clenched his fists. His opponent, On, and the judges, ruthless. Fong grabbed a duck, bright as his dreams. Snap. He broke its bones barehanded. Slid a blade in, boneless in seconds. Stuffed it with herbs, wrapped it in lotus leaf. Then sealed it in dough. Massive wok. Poured a mountain of salt. Heated it red hot. Buried the duck. Waited. Then, crack. He smashed it open. Golden steam, rich aroma. It was Yunnan's legendary salt-baked duck. The crowd gasped. The judges drooled. But On came swinging. Foie gras, flash-seared. Sliced. Glazed in caramel. Topped with candied pineapple. Raspberry swirl on top. Beautiful. The judges were torn. One gave Fong an 8. A tie. A dirty tie. Fong stormed out. His past. Catching up fast. Fong vanished. Played arcade all day. Heartbroken. Defeated. Meanwhile On? Yeah, he won. But couldn't represent China. Why? Because the judge was bribed. That's right. The boss paid for that win. Worse? On's girlfriend sold him out. Cheated. Stole his recipe book. Planned to compete. In his place. And On? He was losing his sense of taste. Literally. Fired. Dumped. Rock bottom. He drank on the street. Guess who found him? Yup, Fong. 2 broken chefs, 1 dream. They clinked bottles, laughed at their mess, then made a plan. To fight back. Together. Take Paul's spot. Win the global cooking championship. Crush the corrupted food empire. And maybe, just maybe, beat Fong's old man. Time to cook. With a vengeance. The World Culinary Tournament kicked off fast. Like blink and you miss it fast. Every team brought out superstar chefs, including Polko's ex-girlfriend. Yep, the one who betrayed him. The competition began and chaos exploded. Chefs scrambled for the finest ingredients money could buy. But Fong? Nah, he was over there. Still turning soybeans into tofu like a monk on a mission. While others were crafting ultra-fancy, ultra-expensive gourmet dishes, Fong stuck to one thing. Tofu. But not just any tofu. He was making Grandma Ba's tofu, a legendary Sichuan dish. Simple on the surface, but mastering it, a nightmare. Meanwhile, the ex-girlfriend copied Paul's recipe word for word, whipping up some flashy molecular oysters. Time flew by. Dishes hit the table. The judges started tasting, and everything looked amazing. Except Fong's tofu. Plain, basic, so they saved it for last. And boom, plot twist. One bite, and the judges froze. The tofu dish, a masterpiece hiding in plain sight. They declared Fong and Pon the winners. Turns out their dish was full of hidden magic. Marbled chili paste in the tofu, frozen beef broth, and ginger juice with green onions. One bite and flavors just exploded. You couldn't stop eating even if you tried. But what really won them the crown? They didn't try to reinvent Sichuan cuisine. They honored it. Spice, tingle, soul and all. It looked humble, but it hit hard. Still, only one chef could move on to face the god of cooking. Pon stepped back. He knew he couldn't win. He'd lost his sense of taste. So he gave up the final spot to Fong. 3 days later, the moment arrived. Fong versus the one man who always doubted him. His own father. When Fong stepped on stage, the tension could be sliced with a knife. His dad? Calm, cold, moving fast like a machine. Fong? He just stood there thinking, not even chopping. The crowd was getting anxious. What was he doing? He was thinking back to his childhood, and the dish that held all those memories. Then bam! His dad splashed water in his face like, "Wake up!" Fong wiped it off and snapped into action. He started kneading dough, fast, rolling, pulling, stretching into perfect noodles. Meanwhile, his father was already halfway through crafting this beautiful red and gold masterpiece. Time flew, and it was over. His dad's dish? Elegant. Sweet sugar, cool mint, explosive flavor. Fong's dish? He didn't even serve it to the judges. He walked up and handed it to his father. It was the same noodle dish Fong made 20 years ago. The one his father never tasted before flying overseas. One bite, silence. His father's eyes softened. He smiled and whispered, "I was wrong." Boom, ugly cry unlocked. Even the god of cooking had a heart. Fong walked off without waiting for the results. He didn't care. That smile was all the victory he ever needed. From that day forward, the restaurant was packed tighter than ever. Fong and Pan became legends, side by side. And that one dish, still making grown men cry across the country. In the end, it wasn't about fancy plating.